All praises to Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, Bahashem, meaning in the name of, Yahweh Shai, aka who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Double honors to all sincere elders and apostles, and salutation to all those sincere brothers that are pushing the truth, and to those sincere sisters who are listening, learning. Yahweh Shai willing, He gives me the Rakah Quadash, aka the Holy Spirit, to do this lesson. This lesson is entitled, So You Trust So-Called White People. This lesson is for those Israelites who are new to this ministry and for those Israelites who don't know, okay? And this lesson is to inform you and to warn you not to trust the so-called white people, okay? The so-called Caucasians, so-called Romans, so-called Greeks, the so-called Spaniards over there. And Europe, they are Edomites, okay? And in this lesson, I'm going to show you a video of, once again, why you should not trust them. We know they got a long track record, but I'm just going to give you more evidence, okay? First, I'm going to have a few precepts before I get that video. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5, it says, Thus saith Yahweh, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from Yahweh. The greatest example I can think of this is that every time I see there's a calamity in a town or a city or a country, or earthquake, where there's a shortage of food or water, pestilence, hurricane, you have people on the news screaming, the government is not helping us. They're not helping us. They're not doing anything for us. Those are people putting trust in men, okay? You're putting your trust in men. And chiefly, it says this. It says, Cursed be the man that trusts in man. So not only are you believing in man, but you're cursed for believing in man. And not only that, if you're believing in the so-called white man, who track record has nothing but rape, murder, and robbery, you know, that's a dumb thing to do. That's a very dumb thing. It says, Thus saith Yahweh, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from Yahweh. So if you think you're going to get your strength from people, okay, but if you think you're going to get your strength from the so-called Caucasian, so-called white people, that's a whole different story, okay? Because these people are evil. They're wicked, okay? But we're going to get to proving that. It says, For he shall be like the heath that goes into being barren, and the desert, like dry, dead barrenness, and shall not see when good cometh. So for those who trust in men, those who trust in Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, when you're going to be seeking them for good, they're not going to give you anything. They're going to be like a dry desert. Why? Because when these Edomites show their true colors, when these white people show their true colors, they're going to destroy you, annihilate you. They're not going to share with you, okay? Just like those people who be on the news, oh, the government's not doing anything for me. The Bible says when the devil's going to come down with great wrath, and if you're looking towards the white man to save you instead of the Lord, okay, if you're looking towards these other nations to save you instead of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, as Israelites, you're gonna be cursed and you're gonna perish and you're gonna fall by the way. It says, it says, For he shall be like the heath and the desert, dryness, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched, the dry places in the wilderness, and a salt land and not inhabited. What happened to those Native Americans when they trusted the so-called white man? This place went from being a paradise to a dry desert to them. They were secluded to a genocide, man. You know? But let's continue. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 26. It says, He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. I seen a video the other day of some black dude being harassed by a white cop. And the dude, you know, most likely he could be an Israelite, okay, was saying, hey, to the white cop, man, we're family, man. We're still, even though our skin color is different, the Lord still loves us. No, that's him trusting in his own heart. That's him lacking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Not understanding that the Lord loves us Israelites, okay, those who sigh and cry, those who are repenting, and that the Lord hates Edomites, the so-called white man, okay? But it says, He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. Okay? So in a day of trouble, in a day of pestilence, hurricanes, earthquakes, famine, all these things, you have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If you're trusting in man, that means you're trusting in your own heart. And the scripture says your heart. The heart is deceitful above all things, who can know it. Continuing. And I'm going to hit the video. It says, Romans chapter 9, verse 9, showing you who the white man is, okay? It says, Romans 9, verse 9, it says, for this is the word of the promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Remember Abraham and Sarah. They're supposed to have a son. The Lord promised them. They had waited about 100 years, right? It says, for this is the word of the promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, okay, you had Abraham, you had Isaac, okay, and then Jacob. But it says here, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Isaac had two sons. He had Esau, okay, the so-called white man, and he had Jacob, you so-called Negro Americans, Latin Americans, Native Americans scattered abroad, okay, who was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? It says, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh's the purpose of Yahweh according to the election might stand, meaning that one son was righteous, one son was born righteous, one son was born evil. Now somebody might say, well, how? That's not fair. Okay, but it says here, it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Esau, the so-called white man, is supposed to serve Jacob, us Israelites who've been scattered abroad to the 12 corners of the earth. So-called Negro Americans, Latin Americans, Native Americans scattered abroad. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, you Israelites, okay, scattered to the four corners of the earth through the slave trade. You so-called Native Americans, okay. Jacob have I loved, the Lord loves you, but Esau have I hated. The Lord hates the so-called white man. He is the descendants of Esau, Edom, okay. Now it's not just about your skin colors; it's about your bloodline and your lineage. And most European so-called white people are Edomites, and their forefather is Esau, and the Lord hates Esau in them and his seed. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there a righteousness with Yahweh? Yahweh forbid. So just because the Lord made Jacob righteous and Esau evil, you can't tell the Lord that he's unrighteous because he made somebody a vessel unto honor and a vessel unto dishonor. That's why white people are so corrupt and wicked, man. That's why their track record is wicked. They can't get right, okay? They just can't get right. And it says here, Isaiah 31, verse 1, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Once again, if you run towards these white men in the days of trouble, pestilence, famine, earthquakes, wars, all these things, if you're running to the white man, if you're believing in any other nation of people also, if you're trusting in men, you're cursed. You're going to be in a very dry and parched place, okay, because the Lord is not going to deliver you, okay? It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Egypt is referring to bondage. It's referring to slavery, okay? Here it is, just an example. It says, Exodus chapter 20, verse 1, it says, and Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So when the Lord, he refers to Egypt as bondage, okay? And it's the same precept is going here. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. If you're running down to Egypt, if you're running to some other nation of people that you're thinking they're going to save you, they're not, man. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not on the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Modern day Egypt here is America, Mr. Babylon the Great. Why? Because we've been scattered over here, chiefly to the land of the north over here. And America is that our new major slave master, man. You had the King Pharaoh, now you got these Edomites ruling us over here in the land of the north. Okay, we're still scattered through all other nations as well, but chiefly we've been scattered over here, okay, as a nation of Israel. And it says here, it says, I'm just hit it from the top. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek him. So people say, oh, the government hasn't helped me, because they believe and trust in the government. They believe America is powerful. It means America is the greatest country. They believe, America has wealth and riches, and America's going to take care of them. These Edomites don't give a damn about you people, man. Okay, and then in this video, I'm going to show you that they don't even give a damn about their own people. Continue. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word. Hey, when the Lord brings judgment, ain't nobody gonna be able to save you. If the Lord is not for you, you're done. Okay, if you're trusting in man, you're done. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So, hey, if you join hand in hand with the wicked, if you go down and run into Esau, Edom, the so-called white man for help in time of trouble, you're going to get destroyed with him, man. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So for those who, just as an example, those who all went to America, Egypt, to get that vaccine for help, those who thought that vaccine was going to help them, and then they start dying, their families start dying, their moms start dying, their kids start dying, blood clots and everything like that, they ran to the white man. They trusted in his science. They trusted in him instead of believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and praying to the Heavenly Father, you know. And hey, what did they get? They got the shakes, you know, they got palsy, you know. All those things, okay? And it's going to get a lot worse, okay? These Edomites don't care about you. All right? I'm going to go ahead and play that video. I'm talking for a minute. This video going to show you that these Edomites don't care about people, man. They're evil. They're just wicked. They put on the front like they're good. They changed, but when stuff hits the fan, they're going to show you their true colors. And I'm telling you, Israelites, you're going to be enemy number one, because this is their country. This is their land. This is their resources. We're second-class citizens, okay? Or third, no, we're like third-class citizens, because all the other Gentiles, other heathens like Chinese, Muslims, all those people, they get higher status than us in our country, okay? But it's just an example how things going to get when there's pestilence, famine, and shortages and all these things. They're going to treat you like you nothing. If they treat their own people like this, they're going to treat you like that.
In 1932, Washington was under siege. The capital was surrounded by over 10,000 unemployed veterans of World War I from all over the country. Their only assets were the bonus certificates they'd been given after the war, which promised a cash bonus sometime in the future. They needed it now.
At the end of May 1932, nearly 10,000 bonus marchers occupied the nation's capital, and tens of thousands more were on their way.
Washington to get my bonus, and I'm going to wait for it till I get it if I have to wait till 1945.
What that brought you to Washington?
Well, to beat the Undertaker, spend the money before the Undertaker gets it.
I know who's made this country worth living in. It's just you fellas. Look, makes me so damn mad a whole lot of people speak of you as tramps. By God, they didn't speak of you as tramps in 1917 and 18. No. Take it from me, this is the greatest demonstration of Americanism we've ever had. Pure Americanism.
President Hoover was left to deal with the veterans when the Senate rejected their demands. The marchers had stayed, camped out in central Washington.
On July 16th, the last day Congress was in session, Washington was on edge. Thousands of angry veterans surrounded the Capitol. Near midnight, the 72nd Congress adjourned. Congressmen left through back doors and underground tunnels to avoid confrontations. The situation had come to a head. The president ordered the evacuation of the veterans from downtown Washington.
Now you bring in the troops.
When MacArthur moved his troops to the affected area, he knew exactly what he was going to do. And he adorned himself in his dress uniform along with his major aide, Dwight D. Eisenhower.
The force stepped off at 4:30 p.m. More than 200 cavalrymen spread out across Constitution and Pennsylvania avenues. Behind them came 400 infantrymen, followed up by tanks and armored vehicles.
The cavalrymen, one of whom is Major Patton, have got their sabers out.
The soldiers donned gas masks and without warning began hurling gas grenades at the veterans. The troops advanced, some jabbing with bayonets.
It's war, the greatest concentration of fighting troops in Washington since 1865.
I knew something was going to happen, that they might be attacked. And I had a press card, so I passed the police lines, and then I saw the soldiers advancing into the camp. And when confronted with this, the men all stood there and said, "Stand firm as long as you can." And they started throwing tear gas.
The tear gas was just burning my face. I was trailing behind my dad, and he kept hollering, "Come on, boy, come on, boy."
Marchers were choking from the gas, just like the battlefields in France.
And so they're being forced out of their shacks by smoke bombs and tear gas, hurled by the troops who have been called out by the President of the United States.
I'd never seen anything like it. They systematically went down the line, burned up all the tents and all the possessions of the people there. I was thinking of Herbert Hoover when this happened, because his election was in 3 months. I thought this would be the finish of Hoover.
The orders of the President must be obeyed, and the roaring flames sound the death knell to the fantastic Bonus Army in the shadow of the beautiful dome of the Capitol of the United States of America.
The veterans did not believe the country for which they had fought would ignore the plight into which the Depression had placed them. Many did not believe that United States troops would take the field against them.
By early evening, most of the marchers had been driven across a drawbridge that led to their main camp.
The president does not want MacArthur to cross the bridge, and MacArthur disregards the order. Eisenhower later says that he saw this happen. MacArthur says, "I cannot bother with pieces of paper during a military operation." And so he crosses the bridge.
All through the camp were scenes of panic.
My dad says, "Let's get the hell out of here. The soldiers are going to kill us."
Then troops began to set fire to their wooden shacks. One reporter wrote, "The blaze was so big it lit the whole sky. A nightmare come to life." The president looked out a window of the White House in the direction of the fire, then retired for the night.
Hey, so when those who ran down to Egypt for help, this is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, because this is what the government gonna give you, okay? Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, it says, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." So these Edomites are going to give you the mark of the beast, man. You run down to Egypt for help, you know, they're going to give you the mark of the beast. You're going to go for, if you go looking for food, water, shelter, they're going to give you the mark of the beast, man. So with that being said, don't trust the so-called white man. They are Edomites, you know, and, you know, put your trust in Yahweh Shai, not in men. Because, hey, trust in man, you're going to fall. Shalom.